If 50 Cent felt he could troll, unfortunately for the G-Unit boss, he has just met his match. Rick Ross calls it how he sees it. The Rose superstar recently shocked the world with his latest jibe at 50 Cent over an incomplete project, where he referred to the multifaceted entertainer as broke.
How your mama live, nigga? Make her own walking star.
This comes after Rose targeted 50's mom and friends, showing that he wasn't giving up anytime soon. Surprisingly, 50 Cent is yet to defend the latest wind of accusations, leaving fans to ponder on whether it might just be true. Rick Ross trolls broke 50 Cent. Rappers Rick Ross and 50 Cent have been playing a cats and mouse game for the longest of the, and earlier this year, the two resumed their hostilities. But in the last few days, things have gone up a notch, with Rick Ross recently taking to his Instagram stories to call out 50 Cent for being broke. On March 15, 2025, Ross shared a series of posts on his stories where he made fun of the concept art and rendering for 50 Cent's G-Unit film and television studios in Shreveport, Louisiana. In the first post, Ross shared an image of the rendering of the film studios and wrote, "It's a new day, but still can't believe they even drew the cars. Oh wow, just notice the people." Ross continued to troll 50 Cent in several other posts that showcased the designs for the studios, while trolling 50 Cent for being unable to complete the project in time because he was broke. In another post, Ross shared a screenshot of an April 18th, 2024 Instagram post 50 Cent made to announce his plans to build the G-Unit Studios in Shreveport. The post was made more than a year ago and featured an aerial view of the rendering for the studios. While sharing the image, Ross mockingly said, "It's been a year at 50 Cent. What's taking so long? We got 21 questions." He then shared another picture of what appeared to be the design for the main building of the project and made fun of the art. He wrote, "At 50 Cent, what the f was this pic? Who drew this?" The trolling didn't stop there, as Ross once again highlighted the rendering, showing the aerial view of 50's project, and again he tried to aim a dig at the Many Men rapper for still not being able to get the project off the design stage. Ross captioned the picture writing, "OMG at 50 Cent. I can imagine your amount of disappointment, hurt ho." Things then got even more personal when Ross posted a video in which he can be seen taking a tour of one of his own real estate projects, and he seized the opportunity to throw a dig at his arch rival by making comparisons between their respective projects. He said,
"Look, I can't really show you all this at the request of Architectural Digest, but it's a difference between renderings and when it's really going down. And it's a difference between real estate, let's say in Louisiana, and over here where it's 6,400 per square foot."
Ross continued the attacks in another video in which he claimed that 50 Cent was envious of his success and deep down wanted to be like him. He goes,
50 Cent, let these people know you really admire me. You love my style, the way I dress, the money I get. And let them know that if you really could, you would put all this to the side to do business with me and work with me. It's the truth.
Ross went on to back up his claims by pointing out how 50 Cent seemed to be cool with some of his homies like DJ Khaled in Florida, and claimed that was 50's way of throwing an olive branch for them to set their beef aside. Ross compared that to how he had no regard for 50's friends, and even threw dirt on them by claiming they were in dire need of facials for their rough skin. But while Ross may have thought that he did something with his recent digs at 50 Cent, fans weren't really feeling his attacks on the renderings, and they also questioned his claims about 50 being broke. One person wrote, "I mean, that's what renderings are for though, cornball." Another person said, "How is this a troll? This is a concept design. Has to present it before a construction begins, LOL." A third person commented angrily, "Rick Ross is an idiot. They do mock-ups for everything, especially business buildings." Also, some fans used the opportunity to troll Ross for opening for Bow Wow on his current tour. One ex-user quipped, "One is pocket watching 50, who is almost a billionaire. The other is opening for Bow Wow and doing car shows at his house. This ain't trolling, this is coonery." Another person chimed in saying, "Stop you opening for Bow Wow." Overall, the fans didn't seem to be on Rick Ross's side on this one, as they attacked him in different ways, including one person who claimed Ross was scared of 50 Cent, and that's why he always avoids being in the same room with him. Although 50 and Ross have been beefing for several years, Ross's recent attacks on 50 came after the G-Unite boss roasted Ross for opening for Bow Wow on the Millennium Tour. Taking to Instagram on March 12, 2025, 50 shared two since deleted posts where he comments on Rose being a special guest on the Millennium Tour 2025. Which includes headliners Bow Wow, Omarion, Trey Songz, as well as Boozy Badass, Plies, Ying Yang Twins, and more. While sharing a photo of the tour flyer, 50 wrote, Get quiet when they gotta open for Bow Wow. He not a surprise guest, he can't sell a ticket, LOL. In a follow-up post, 50 shared a picture of Bow Wow looking confused on stage. He then captioned the clip, "Bow Wow, like I didn't ask for this to be on this Tour 5. They just threw that on the bill, LOL." Meanwhile, the Millennium Tour kicked off on March 7, 2025, and it will feature 24 stops, including Philadelphia, Houston, New York City, Atlanta, and several other cities before drawing the curtains in Los Angeles on April 27. In the comments section of the posts, 50 gets even more nasty when he suggests that Ross wouldn't have any hits if it wasn't for Drake. 50 claimed that Ross would have no choice but to rock out to his collabs with Drake, despite the fact that he and Drake aren't so cool these days. The Drake insult definitely stung, because in reality, Ross's biggest and most beloved songs had Drake featured in them, and 50 knows it. So does every single person on the planet. The G-Unit boss also couldn't pass up a chance to take a punt at a recent enemy and suggested that Ross bring Big Meech on stage with him, as well as Floyd Mayweather. He wrote, "Yo, bring Floyd and Big Screech out, LOL suckers." 50 recently got beefing with former mob boss Big Meech after he linked up with Rick Ross to promote his Welcome Home concert, and we all know about 50's years-long feud with former boxing champ Floyd Mayweather. Unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for Rose to respond to 50's trolling, and he didn't just restrict the disrespect to his rival. In a March 13th social media rant, Rose seemingly torched the boundaries when he took aim at 50 Cent's mother and Tony Yayo's grooming while responding to 50 mocking him about opening for Bow Wow. The video starts with Rose addressing the ongoing back and forth between him and 50. He said,
I didn't know that they say I was the only person that 50 Cent up. I ain't know that. I'm gonna be honest. Tony Yayo told 50 Cent himself, y'all could Google it. Tony Yayo said, I wouldn't do that if I was, cause Tony Yayo know them ain't got no money. Come on, man.
As the video progresses, Rose then switches his focus to Tony Yayo and another figure from the G-Unit camp. He added,
"Look at Tony Yayo and Auntie Murder. Them need facials. Oh, whose skin ain't even right, boy."
The 49-year-old rapper then poked fun at 50's plans to establish a G-Unit film studio in Louisiana, suggesting that the land was cheap, and 50 was still having a hard time securing the required funding to complete the project. But Ross didn't stop there and took their feuding to a whole new level when he poked fun at 50's plans involving his late mother. He said,
"I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing put down there. How your mama live. Make her own walking star."
While some people felt Ross crossed the line by involving other parties in his feud with 50, others were quick to point out that this isn't the first time that third parties would be caught in the crossfire between Ross and 50. In fact, during a recent interview with Vlad TV, Tony Yayo, who was targeted by Ross, opened up on how opponents of 50 Cent regularly target him due to his loyalty to the rapper turned filmmaker. Yayo explained,
"You gotta realize, like, motherfuckers get killed every day. Like, I'm smart enough to know a motherfucker try something to me because they mad at the big homie."
Back in 2009, Rick Ross's ex-girlfriend Lastonia Leviston became collateral damage in the feud when 50 purchased and leaked her sex tape with another man. During an episode of the new Netflix series WAGs to Riches, Lastonia opened up about how the harrowing ordeal left her feeling suicidal. She said, "In that second, my whole life changed. I became suicidal. Didn't want to live anymore. I felt like I was damaged goods, like no man would ever love me again. I felt like I had let my kids down tremendously. That happened more than a decade ago, and even now, more people are still getting caught in the crossfire of this rap feud. The latest victim of this rap feud is former mob boss Big Meech, but in his case, he has tried to put up a fight. Rick Ross and 50 Cent fight dirty over Big Meech. When former gang leader Demetrius Big Meech Flannery was released from jail on October 15, 2024, there was a lot of fanfare within the entertainment industry as several celebrities, including Sexy Red, Boozy Badass, and LeBron James, took to social media to send congratulatory messages to him. The convicted drug trafficker and money laundering kingpin was involved in the early careers of rappers T.I. and Jeezy in the early 2000s through his record label BMF Entertainment, so it wasn't surprising to see his release widely celebrated by music stars, both young and old. Nearly a month later, 50 Cent caused quite a stir online when he linked up with the Black Mafia family co-founder Big Meech. The G-Unit boss later took to Instagram to share a picture of himself posing next to Big Meech, and in the caption, he shouted the 56-year-old while adding that the camera was rolling, which triggered speculation that the duo may be cooking up something big, like the hit Starz TV show based on his infamous crime enterprise. 50 captioned the since-deleted post writing, "Greenlight Gang, Ultimate Hustler Edition, camera speed rolling in action, BMF Big Meech." 50 and Big Meech Meech have always had a great working relationship, underlined by how Meech easily gave 50 his blessings to produce the BMF documentary, Blowing Money Fast, and the Starz TV show BMF, which premiered on September 26, 2021. The show chronicles the rise and fall of the Black Mafia family gang, which was founded by Big Meech. Interestingly, the series stars Big Meech's son Lil Meech portraying his father, and the 4th season of the show is scheduled to premiere anytime between early to mid-2025. Given their working history, fans' anticipation of something new and big was understandable. In the end, fans did get served up with something big. It just wasn't in the way they were expecting. Now, there's hardly anyone who doesn't know that 50 and Rick Ross have been feuding for a while. So when Big Meech decided to post a video of him linking up with Rick Ross on January 22nd, 2025, he must have known what was coming his way. The video was in promotion of Meech's Welcome Back concert, which was scheduled to hold in Sunrise, Florida on February 13th, with Rose billed to perform. Apart from Rose, several other artists were also signed up to take the stage at the Amerant Bank Arena, including Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, 42 Doug, Moneybagg Yo, Kodak Black, T Grizzly, SG, Boozy, and many more. However, the concert never saw the light of day, and 50 Cent may have played a big role in that. On Monday, February 3rd, 50 Cent finally reacted to Big Meech's apparent betrayal by launching a scathing attack on him on Instagram, accusing the BMF founder of snitching and going on to tease a tell-all documentary about it. In the Instagram post, 50 suggested that the recently freed former mafia boss had broken the street code by snitching on his former business partner and longtime friend, Dion Gatling, aka Cuffy. 50's post featured a picture of a rat which had a text that read, "I think I'm Big Meech." This was clearly referencing Rick Ross's 2010 hit single, BMF, Blowing Money Fast, which was inspired by Big Meech's criminal exploits during the iconic reign of the Black Mafia family. Furthermore, the caption of the post also saw 50 Cent hint at an upcoming tell-all documentary involving Meech's former personal assistant, Tammy Cowens, who is a known federal informant and a producer on the TV show BMF. The caption read, "The biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cowan. Her tell-all docu reveals the truth." Back in 2024, Cuffy himself accused Big Meech of entering into a third-party cooperation deal with the feds in order to get a reduced sentence. According to Cuffy, Meech enlisted the help of Tammy Cowens to help the feds gather information that helped them nail his former business partners in exchange for a reduced sentence. 50's post not only corroborated Cuffy's claims, but also took all of the shine off the announcement of Meech's Welcome Back concert. But 50 wasn't done just yet, and after letting his first post settle in, he got back to trolling Meech a few hours later by sharing another post on Instagram that featured a video in which he imposed Meech's head onto a man confessing he snitched. In the caption of the since deleted Instagram post, 50 Cent once again teased that he was working with Cowens on a documentary that would expose Meech's alleged betrayal. He wrote, "He had Tammy Cowan doing all his dirty work, her new tell-all, Break It Down. Screech directed her and connected her to people to get his time cut." After the continued attacks from 50 Cent that was sustained over 48 hours, Big Meech finally broke his silence via a February 5th, 2025 Instagram post. In the post, reshared a picture from 50's October 2024 visit to Meech's home that showed both men posing together. However, Meech returned the favor by editing out 50's face and replacing it with a cartoonish image of a rat holding onto a slice of cheese. At the same time, the text "Internet Gangster" repeatedly popped up across the 50's body, and Meech completed the clap back by adding the sound from Ja Rule's 2003 hit track Clap Back, a diss song that was directed at 50 Cent and Eminem. However, Meech's attempt to clap back at 50 backfired horribly, as fans took to the comment section of the post to slam the former drug kingpin for seemingly biting the finger that once fed him. One netizen summarized the line of most of the commenters when they wrote, "He's not an internet gangster. He's a guy who made your son very famous and added a bigger legacy to your name. And you did business with an opposition of his who did nothing for you but shout you out in a song." The fan was talking about how Big Meech recently linked up with 50's longtime rival, Rick Ross, to promote his Welcome Back concert. This was seen as an obvious act of betrayal by 50, and many fans felt he was justified in the way he reacted, given the fact that had done much more for Meech's family while the former crime boss was in jail. As expected, it wasn't long before the online back and forth between 50 and Meech reignited the feud between Rick Ross and 50 Cent. Ross threw the first punch when he seemingly responded to 50 Cent complaining about Meech, linking up with him by viciously trolling him in an Instagram live video. Ross began the video by doing a comical imitation of his longtime rival crying and said he took a picture with Rick Ross. He then continued,
"You like Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
A few days later, Ross took his trolling of 50 Cent up a notch when he threatened to hijack 50's BMF TV show. Taking Instagram live, the rapper let his fans know that he was considering making his own BMF production and also slammed 50 Cent's lackluster work on the project. He said,
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director?
Ross then goes on to list a handful of big names he would be willing to work with, including F. Gary Gray, Antoine Fuqua, and Quentin Tarantino. The Instagram Live concludes with Ross letting out a long laugh before hyping himself up some more and putting 50 down. At the time, 50 Cent chose to ignore Ross and instead focused his wrath on Big Meech, and at some point even extended his beef to Big Meech's son, Lil Meech. He started out by leaking alleged text messages from the actor that showed him confronting 50 about his recent attacks on his father. One part of Lil Meech's alleged text messages reads, I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human, I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. Lil Meech went on to address Big Meech's recent link up with Rick Ross and claimed that it was only for money. He wrote, Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet shit is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. Unfortunately, Lil Meech's attempt to mend fences with 50 Cent fell on deaf ears as he captioned the image with the question, what next season? Seemingly implying that he could recast Lil Meech's role in BMF or even cancel the show altogether. With their relationship appearing to be irreparably broken, Lil Meech may have taken the cue and was spotted on February 20th, linking up with two of 50's infamous rivals, Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, at the Lucky Strike bowling alley in Miami. With Big Meech and his son now united in their feud, 50 recently took to Instagram to show off who he is teamed up with while sending out a warning to Big Meech. The rapper shared a photo of Tammy Cowens and captioned it writing, Tammy Cowens, the truth and nothing but the truth coming soon. 50 also shared a screenshot of a text conversation with Cowens in which she appears to answer, yep, when he asked her if Big. Meech knew she was an informant when he was in jail. But while fans continue to wait for this truth to finally come out, 50's feud with Big Meech has already escalated his rivalry with Ross in the last couple of days, and there seems to be a war brewing between the two with the recent personal attacks. But how exactly did their beef start? How 50 Cent and Rick Ross started beefing? The origins of the 50 Cent and Rick Ross feud is quite unclear, but according to reports, it all started because Ross felt 50 Cent looked at him the wrong way at the BET Hip Hop Awards in 2008. 50 Cent would later tell news sources that he didn't remember seeing Rick Ross at the event. Furthermore, during a 2011 interview with MTV News, 50 explained that Ross started the beef because he was trying to move up the ladder in his career. This was in response to being asked what he felt was the motivation behind the beef and why it started. 50 answered saying, he says it started because I looked at him the wrong way. That just means he wanted to compete, he wanted to move up, he wanted to create an awareness for himself, and he did it. In January 2009, Rick Ross set the stage for what has now become one of the most heated feuds in the rap game when he released the track Mafia Music. In the song, Ross raps, I love to pay your bills, can't wait to pay your rent, Curtis Jackson, baby mama, I ain't asking for a cent. The lyrics took aim at 50 Cent's personal life, hitting him where it hurt. 50 Cent, known for never backing down from a fight, responded with equal force. In his first video acknowledging the conflict, 50 Cent directly calls out Rick Ross and goes on to promise to destroy the rapper. He declared, so I'm deciding to f your life up, Rick Ross. I'm gonna f your life up for fun. This is not new. I do this all the time. He followed up by releasing a diss track titled Officer Ricky, Go Ahead Try Me, where he referred to Rick Ross as a fat f. To add insult to injury, 50 also purchased and leaked an alleged sex tape involving Ross' baby mama, Lastonia Leviston. 50 Cent got the tape from the man in it, who was Leviston's boyfriend at the time. In the 13-minute clip that was leaked online in 2009, 50 appeared as a wig-wearing narrator and dubbed himself Pimpin' Curly. The character went on to make explicit remarks about Leviston and trolled rap rival Rick Ross, who wasn't featured in the video but has a daughter with Leviston. At the time the video surfaced, 50 and Ross were in the middle of a heated spat, with barbs being traded via video, lyrics, and interviews. In July 2015, a jury ordered 50 to pay $5 million to Leviston after she initiated a lawsuit against him for posting the tape online without her consent. This episode only intensified the beef between Rick Ross and 50 Cent, with both rappers engaging in a back and forth of diss tracks and public statements over the next couple of years. Fast forward to 2018, when Rick Ross was found unresponsive and hospitalized for pneumonia. 50 Cent seized the moment to drive a low blow by mocking Ross's condition. This came after a police report obtained by The Blast 24 hours after the incident claimed that Ross boo-booed on himself and was slobbing out the mouth. As concerns over Ross's health grew and fans fans began sending him their prayers, 50 took to Instagram to brutally clown Ross. In a since-deleted Instagram post, 50 shared a screenshot of an article about the situation with the caption, "No comment." Although he didn't really mention any names or say anything derogatory, it still spoke volumes, and fans took to the comment section to let him know he was wrong for kicking Ross while he was down. However, 50 Cent didn't back down and got into a heated argument with some of the Instagrammers in the comments section. In one of his responses, he wrote, "Who gonna clean that up?" Another comment read, "Wait, you think if I shit myself on the floor, no one's gonna say nothing?" At some point, 50 also claimed that drug use may have been the reason for the incident. He said, "Look, I didn't tell that to use the drugs. Come with it, LOL." Thankfully, Rick Ross made a full recovery from the ordeal and was soon back to throwing jabs at 50 Cent. During an appearance on I Am Athlete featuring Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor, Ross didn't hold back when discussing 50's musical prowess. When asked about the possibility of a versus battle against 50, Ross responded,
"Would it be really entertaining, music-wise? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a real dude. 50 Cent had some huge records when he had the biggest producers and artists around him putting them together. That's why right now he can't make nothing. He can't, not to save his life."
Things seemed to simmer down between the two for a while, but in 2023, 50 Cent reignited their beef when he trolled Ross over the low sales of Too Good to Be True, his joint album with Meek Mill. In a video posted on Instagram, 50 can be seen enjoying his Australian tour, but he takes time out to throw a jab at Ross when he says, "If you sell 31,009 CDs, he says, I shouldn't talk to you." When Ross caught wind of 50 dissing him about his first week album sales, he immediately took to Instagram to respond by taking a swipe at 50 girlfriend at the time, former video model Jamira Cuban Link Haynes.
The DM say, "Rose, we believe 50 Cent just made a comment about you online. I seen it and I said to myself, y'all don't know 50 Cent like I do. He wouldn't do that." For one, his dream chasers. She been a dream chaser for many years, still is. That's when she told me I was her favorite.
Ross went on to brag about how he was still getting so much money regardless of how his album was doing. He added,
"For two, we been rich. We still getting money. Them niggas was laughing at my first week sales. They was doing $1 million the first week, and I did 150, 180, and they was laughing. But you smell that salt water, right? I let them trick you. Biggest."
Ross concluded the video by rejecting Charlemagne the God's claims that 50 Cent was a diabolical genius, arguing that he didn't believe that 50 merited being called that because, in his opinion, a diabolical genius doesn't file foreclosure and doesn't file bankruptcy. This was a clear dig at 50 Cent's financial status after the rapper filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in July 2015. Even though the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, District of Connecticut, ordered a standard discharge from bankruptcy for 50 Cent in February 2017, Ross has continued to troll his rival for being broke. For most part, 50 Cent has returned the energy and continues to troll Ross over his musical career in spite of the success he has achieved through the years. And with neither of them likely to let off anytime soon, there is certainly more drama to come in the weeks ahead.